my next guest here in studio, a man who's appeared on such funny programs, Chelsea Lately, Conan, Jimmy Kimmel Live, also in the Hangover movies. He will be periscoping the Major League Baseball All-Star Game in Cincinnati next week for Comedy Central, where we've seen him for so many years, including a Comedy Central special back in 2013. Good to see you, Brody Stevens. How are you, sir?
Yeah, oh, you do the handshake
I do the
right
handshake.
out of the gate.
I lean over and handshake.
My hands are a little clammy.
No, they were dry.
You know what? Well, thank you.
Well, why were they clammy before they were dry?
I get nervous sometimes when I'm doing new adventures like this. But I took a beta blocker, and I'm all good.
So is this like the repelling of talk shows, is what you're saying? Or is that the type of
No, this is good.
This
is good. When
okay.
I knew this was a big-time thing. When I said I was doing the show, people said, that's a big show. It's a big deal. I knew about the show. I don't have... I don't have DirecTV anymore, and I missed the remote control. I miss it.
It's an outrage.
It's upsetting. Well, I don't have the south-facing patio.
So can't you move?
I'd love to move, but you know, I should, because I have thin walls and a Russian neighbor, Mark, who goes to bed at 7 o'clock, and I do want to move. I don't want to get.
So is the thin walls an issue because of what Mark's doing, or you have to keep down what you're doing? What's the issue there?
Him. Who goes to bed at 7 o'clock in the living room? He knows that. So if I'm the Prince of Periscope now. So if I'm periscoping, I can't have a conversation with my mother in my living room on the phone after 7, and the sun is out, and I can't even bring a friend over. Or a girl, anything. And there's no pets.
When I lived in Redding, California, doing
up north,
way
off
north.
the 5.
That's right, off the 5. It's closer to Oregon than Sacramento.
I've made that drive. I lived in Sacramento when I was a kid. I was there when Elvis passed away.
That's your flashbulb memory of Elvis passing?
I remember. It was like 1977, and I was in Carmichael. My parents were separated. But I used to spend the summers up there. And I know about Redding. I know about Lake Tahoe. I fell off a horse in Truckee.
That sounds like, by the way, a Johnny Cash song.
I fell off a horse in Truckee.
So what does that sound like?
I like that. Because Truckee is a funny word. Truck.
Yeah. I think it was the original lyric of I Once Shot a Man in Reno. I fell off a horse, and he workshopped it.
Is there Truckee in that lyric? I bet you can find Truckee. It's easy to find.
But the reason why I brought it up is when I lived in Redding, I lived next door to somebody in this apartment complex who complained to the landlord that I was banging my cabinets too loudly when shutting it. And so my landlord calls me up and says to me, your next-door neighbor's complaining you're banging your cabinets. I'm like, I'm just shutting them.
Banging your cabinets?
It's not like I'm like an angry man when I go to get a mug. You know what I mean? Like, I just shut the cabinet, and instead...
I'm more of a...
So which response would you think is more appropriate, Brody? The response, A, the landlord would say, I'll just tell the person next door, you know, not to worry about it. You'll do a better job of closing your cabinets.
I like that.
Or B, can you go out and get some sort of, you know, rubber sticker that you could put on all of your cabinets so it doesn't close to make a noise? Saying that to me. Which is more appropriate for a landlord to say?
Oh, I'm glad I jumped first. I actually like the idea of putting the little cushions.
That's what you told me to do. I had to go out to like the you know, the Stop and Shop.
Do you feel better once you did it?
No, I was pissed.
Why?
Because I'm like, who the hell is making me go out and buy these things? Because he's such a lunatic about me jamming in my cabinet.
He is, but you got to put out positive energy for that stuff. That's what I'm saying. That's how you do it, and it's over. I always accept blame. I blame myself. This guy plays poker at Pauly Shore on Tuesday nights. That's his claim to fame. But the thin walls, he's banging, but I don't want problems. And you know what? I'm not saying I would just do it. Just get it over with.
I did.
All right, there you go.
I did, but just to keep the peace. Where are you from? Where are you from originally?
San Fernando Valley, 818 till I die. Born there. Same hospital. 3, 2, same hospital as Kirk Cameron. True story. Kaiser, Panorama City, look it up.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was born out in the Valley. I went to Reseda High School, but I lived in Tarzana because Reseda, it was just kind of always had a negative vibe. People always made fun of Reseda. Oh, you're from Reseda, Karate Kid, Reseda, Beverly Hills 902, Reseda. So it really did weigh on me. I also drove a Pinto. That didn't help.
I had a Pinto too. My
Are
family.
you serious?
Yes, we did. We
Oh
did.
my gosh.
And then we sold it after, you know, it came
The bumper, the exploding.
Yes, the car. These two guys don't know
I know
about
the Ford
this.
Pinto. My aunt used to have
Mike
one.
had a Pinto?
Mike had a Pinto.
No,
the
I didn't have a
shotgun.
Pinto, but
we
I
had
remember the
we had a
fire.
Pinto in Staten Island. My family had a Pinto that we sold after it came out that if you got rear-ended,
Right.
because the gas tank being back there, it would explode.
Yeah.
This is not my family's finest moment. We sold it to some old lady.
Oh, you sold it to an old lady.
We did, and we would sometimes see her driving around Staten Island. We're like, good to see she's okay.
Didn't know Joe and Evelyn had that in them.
It's true. We did that.
She's not going to get rear-ended. She'll cause the accident. That's what I'm saying.
That's right. As long as she stays away from being behind another Pinto. I've got Brody Stevens here on the Rich Eisen Show. So periscoping the All-Star Game for Comedy Central next week. That'll be fun. Right?
Yeah, I don't know how I kind of know how I got it. I honestly just put out the energy. The Periscope is a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
I think, I did spring training baseball. I was out in Mesa, so I was with the Cubs. I did some periscoping there. It was just starting out. And then I went to Tulsa, actually. I did a comedy festival out there, right down the street from the AA for the Dodgers. Nice stadium. So I went there and went on the field. They had fireworks night. So maybe that put the base, and I played baseball. And then I talk about how I know all these people. And then Comedy Central said, because you know baseball, hopefully you know a little comedy, and you're the Prince of Periscope right now. I had over 1,000 people watching me one day. I felt like Jenna Marbles. And that's a good reference, right? Hello, yes, YouTuber.
Well done.
So, yeah, I'm excited about going there. I don't know how. I mean, the beauty about Periscope, it is kind of organic, and you're sneaking around. And that's kind of cool, but I'm excited. I've not been to Cincinnati, and I do know guys. I know they come to my comedy shows. Kershaw, who will not be on the team.
Maybe not yet. Maybe he'll get
I don't think
voted.
he's going to be. He
don't
could
think
still
so?
get voted today.
He can, yeah, he could. It's possible. But I don't know.
He's planning on going back to Texas. It's
So
not
who else has
happening.
come to your comedy shows?
Dan Herring, Russell Martin,
yeah.
John Lackey by accident.
What do you mean by accident?
Well, he was just there at the Comedy Store, but I met him before. I said by accident. But no, Kershaw will come out to my shows. My friend that I grew up with, Michael Borzello, he's a coach with the Cubs. He's in the dugout. He's right there with Chris Bosio and
Bosio's
Joe
funny.
Madden.
Bosio's funny. Madden's a good dude.
Madden is, he's got this energy because he didn't play Major League Baseball. So he's kind of like a philosopher. He calls himself a hippie, but he has that just easygoing vibe. And I think maybe he didn't play Major League Baseball, but he was a bench coach. And he's all into coaching, all different sort of things. So me doing comedy, I think he likes having me around. I've done comedy for the Texas Rangers. Back in the day, Buck Showalter brought me in. So I'm trying to, it's me and the Sklar's fighting for every sports comedy bit. And they can't be everywhere at the same time.
Yes, they can.
I guess they can. They went to Michigan. You went to Michigan.
That's correct.
Did you? Oh, sorry for cutting you off.
No. Go.
My mother was born in Detroit.
Uh-huh.
My grandfather opened. He was a director. He ran everything at the Fox Theater in the 30s.
That is serious business. That's
Yeah.
a beautiful facility, the Fox Theater in Detroit. Beautiful.
I have old playbills from back in the 30s.
You know what I have seen at the Fox Theater in Detroit? True story. I saw the Jeffersons live.
On ice.
No,
No.
they did not have
That's
skates.
that's a Chris
But
Rock
literally,
joke.
the Jeffersons got back together.
Really?
And performed 2 episodes of this show.
They did live?
They did.
That's a good gig.
I have been there.
Was it podcasted?
This was way before podcasting.
Sherman Hemsley.
Yep.
And
all of them.
They had
All of them.
Wheezy.
Roxy Roque. Wheezy was there too.
What about both Lionels? Did they have both Lionels? His kid, remember they switched out. Right? There's 2 Lionels.
They had Roxy Roker,
Lenny Kravitz's mother.
mom, yeah.
And
exactly.
they had,
They were there.
I love Mr. Willis. I love the Jeffersons. I used to watch it, every Sunday night with Alice and, and then 60 Minutes kicking it off. But those were the good old days. Sunday nights were kind of depressing, though, back then.
Why?
because you knew you had to go to school the next day.
Oh, that's true.
That was it. So, but I'm happier now, kinda. I really am excited about going to the All-Star game and just meeting these guys and being around it. And because I played baseball, you know, I went to Arizona State. I'm a Division I.
Hey, that's the home of Reggie Jackson, man. I mean, that's some serious people have come out of Arizona
Reggie
State.
Jackson, Barry Bonds, Paul LaDuca, Fernando Valley. Did you say Rick Monday? I forgot. I don't know.
Rick Monday.
Bump Wills, Dustin Pedroia, my friend Andre Ethier, who texts me quick. Kershaw, I don't know. What is he doing? Another Subway commercial? AJ Ellis? What do you do? He hit a home run last night.
At Brody is me friend on Twitter. That's how people could follow your Periscope?
They can, and I'll tell you what, Brody is me friend is based off, I mean, why isn't it Brody is my friend or whatever? It's based off my busboys in New York City when I was a waiter at Cafe Un Deux Trois on 44th and 6th. You've probably been there where you can write on the tables.
Sure.
And Mr. Lee and Tony, Tony from Albania, Mr. Lee from China. Brody, you good guy, you me friend. And they would help me marry the ketchups. I would only work lunch shifts.
Marrying the ketchups.
We've all been there.
Was it? By the way, that was the name of the album of hit somebody and hit a wheel.
The Truckee.
Yeah, the Truckee.
Good callback. I like that.
I tried, but I couldn't remember the line.
No,
it's the
that
end of a
was good.
3-hour show. Law saying we got to go to break.
Who
we have
says
to go to
that?
break. We have to go to break. Stay
I need
right there.
makeup.
You'll finish the show.
You're good.
At Brody is me friend is here.
I like
Don't
the
go
scar
anywhere.
on my
We are
face.
back to wrap up this edition of the Rich Eisen Show in a moment.
Is this in low definition?
Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. Brody is me friend is his Twitter handle, and that is how you can follow this man periscoping the All-Star game for Comedy Central next week in Cincinnati. That'll be a lot of fun. The poll question today, you'll be the last person to vote on it, Brody.
Okay. I'm ready for it.
Go for it, Chris Brockman at richeisenshow.com. Go for it.
What is the best NFL nickname that begins with the? So what's the best the NFL nickname? The Minister of Defense, the Galloping Ghost, the Snake, the Bus, or the Fridge?
What do you like?
I like the Snake.
You have to.
Isn't it Kenny Stabler?
He just passed away
I know.
yesterday.
How do I go against that?
That's the way I voted. That's the way John McClane voted. But did the Fridge win? Did the Fridge
The
come in?
Snake, 18%. The Fridge took it wire to wire. 35% for the Fridge. Reggie White, Minister of Defense, 21%.
How
The
about that?
Bus, 20%.
How do they go against Kenny Stabler?
The day after he dies. I don't understand.
Love the Snake.
That's a shock.
That is a shock.
And that's upsetting. As somebody who is an LA Raider fan with who's Mark Davis?
Yeah,
Who's
sorry, Mark. Oh, you know, the
Mark Wilson.
Mark Wilson.
See,
yeah.
I know my
Mark
stuff.
No, Mark Davis is the owner right now.
There you go. Connection.
I want to thank you for coming on today. Thank you so much, Brody. Also, my other guests, John McClane. Go to richeisenshow.com for these conversations. If you missed any of it, Jim Courier, Al Leiter, Ronnie Lott, and you were not the only one, Chris Brockman, to be hitting on Ariel Kebble.
Is that what?
You are not the only one to be
doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. Don't even kid yourself. You're not the only one to have been doing that, because we showed how, you know, the Rich Eisen Show has a bump for those who have come on the program. We even put a graphic up there to show it. And I looked down on my Twitter feed during the commercial break. Steve Lee, at Korean Cobra on Twitter, he is our graphics operator, correct?
Yes, he is.
He tweets out, at Ariel Kebble, you like that at Rich Eisen graphic you were featured on? What has 2 thumbs and built that board for you? This guy.
That's a great tweet.
If Ariel is still listening, just remember who gave you ice cream,
See,
Ariel.
I got the ice
I can't
cream.
have this. I can't have it. Chris Berman on Monday's program.
Rob Gronkowski in studio.
Gronkowski in studio next
Gronk.
Wednesday. And Terrell Owens will be on the ESPYs red carpet. That's all next week
Tio.
on The Rich Eisen Show.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.